Tired of Britain's taxation, oppression, and rude behavior, the colonists were ready to have their own nation. They were willing to go to war for their freedom. They were ready for battles to be fought and lives to be lost. The Battle of Bunker Hill was one with many casualties and was very saddening to those who have lost loved ones. What was the reason for the Battle of Bunker Hill? What was the outcome? The Battle of Bunker Hill was one of the many battles of the Revolutionary War, but it greatly affected both sides, Britain and the colonists. The Revolutionary War lasted 7 years. It started on April 19, 1775, and ended on September 3, 1783. The colonists wanted their freedom and were willing to pay any price for it. On June 13, 1775, the leaders of the colonial forces surrounding Boston learned that British troops were going to be sent to fortify the hills around Boston to control the Boston Harbor. In response, 1,200 colonial troops under the command of William Prescott stealthily occupied Bunker Hill and Breed's Hill. During the night, the colonists constructed a strong redoubt on Breed's Hill, as well as smaller fortified lines across the Charleston Peninsula. Quote from Wikipedia. In the morning of June 17th, the British learned that the colonial forces were fortifying the peninsula and wasted no time. They left for battle. As they prepared for battle, the colonial forces realized they were low on ammunition. Trying to conserve ammunition, Prescott told his men, "Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes." When the British were close enough, the colonists fired their rifles, causing the British to retreat and reorganize their forces. This happened 3 times, but the colonists had even less ammunition now. When the British came back the 3rd time, they had to fight hand-to-hand with the colonists. Since the colonists were outnumbered, they were forced to retreat. However, by the end of the engagement, the Patriots' gunfire had cut down some 1,000 enemy troops, with more than 200 killed and more than 800 wounded. Quote from History.com. The British won the battle, but at a great loss. They had suffered 1,054 casualties. We know from General Gage's, a British general, report that the British casualties included officers including 1 lieutenant colonel killed, 2 majors killed, 3 wounded, 7 captains killed, 27 wounded, 9 lieutenants killed, 32 wounded, 15 sergeants killed, 42 wounded, and 1 drummer killed and 12 wounded. Quote from Wikipedia. This loss of leadership and a large number of soldiers affected the British forces for the rest of the war. The colonists suffered most of their casualties during the retreat on Bunker Hill. By 5 p.m., the colonists had retreated over the Charleston Neck to the fortified positions in Cambridge, and the British were in control of the peninsula. Quote by Wikipedia. The colonists had 450 casualties, and 140 of the soldiers died. 30 colonial soldiers were captured by the British, and 20 of them died. If the British had attacked Dorchester Heights, the casualties may have been worth it, but they did not. In March 1776, General Washington had enough ammunition and guns to seize Boston and make the British Army flee back to Britain. Since the British had lost the war, the Americans were happy and had a lot of confidence with their new nation. What was the reason for the Battle of Bunker Hill? And what was the outcome of this battle? The Battle of Bunker Hill had many casualties on both sides, and even the colonists lost the battle. The result of the high number of casualties benefited the overall war for our nation. Without it, America would not be what it is today.